Thank you, Michelle. Michelle, can you play the video of Brother Thomas? And welcome everyone to the first United People's Front Labour Assembly, because in South Africa we have... Thank you. In South Africa, as we have been struggling, we have only one jurisdiction, and we, the people of the land, do not have the jurisdiction. So we are mobilizing and pushing the UPF to establish its own labor desk. That is the labor assembly that is going to constitute with the wise elders who are going to come from all the working formations, being any company. As the forum, it will only be selected during the period of any hearing, being in any company or some sort. So Michelle, you'll play the video of Brother Thomas, and then we can listen all for that 8 minutes to what Brother Thomas educates us when it comes to common law and the working class. Thank you.
Is government based on the will of the people? No. We live in a nation where doctors destroy health, where lawyers destroy justice, universities destroy knowledge, governments destroy freedom, the press destroys information, religion destroys morals, and our banks destroy the economy. History is repeating itself. In the 1950s, the people rejected an apartheid regime, and they embarked on the Defiance Campaign, on boycotts, on stayaways. In 1955, they declared the Freedom Charter, and the Freedom Charter declared the people shall govern, and no government can claim authority unless it is based on the will of the people. In 1994, the Reconstruction and Development Program was a rollout of the Freedom Charter and the people's vision of an alternative society, and both declared the people shall govern. But in 1995, we were sold down the river in favor of the Washington Consensus. It's time that we restore South Africa back to 1994, and it all starts with the People's Courts and developing the common law and the customary law. Our governments are not going to protect us. We need to learn how to protect ourselves. Now, the first thing to understand is that the people are sovereign. You are sovereign. You are the authority for which the government exists and acts. You have inherent, inalienable, unalienable rights, natural rights, which cannot be taken away by any agency of the states, not by a majority vote. It cannot be taken away by any company, even if you are a worker or an employee, and it can only be given up if you give it up yourself. Now, some of your natural, inalienable, what they call non-derogable rights, are enshrined within the Bill of Rights. So it's important that you download a copy of the Bill of Rights, read the Bill of Rights, because you can use that Bill of Rights in your defense. It doesn't matter if it's with a company or if it's with the police who are trying to arrest you or anyone else for that matter. So it's important to carry a copy of the Bill of Rights with you, to learn it and to stand upon those rights. There's a principle in law that says the law does not protect those that slumber on their rights. So you need to learn what your rights are and what the purpose of government is, and how to restrict government to the services that they provide. Now, we're sitting with the same system, the same New World Order system that was controlling the apartheid government through the banks, through the Reserve Bank, through the courts, these crown courts, through these colonial sea rules of theirs, and through the representative structure of government. The people never called for representative government. We called for direct representation, for direct self-governance. So we need to start governing ourselves. And the first thing is that the unions, they've also been bought over by the cabal. So in this representative government, all that the New World Order has to do is to fund one or two people at the top of this representative government to sell the rest of you down the river. So your union bosses are in fact keeping the narrative of the New World Order in place, especially for the workers. They want to keep you enslaved, they want to keep your wages minimum, and they want to keep infringing upon your rights. So the best way is you need to assemble yourselves and do everything by consensus, just as it was done under customary law and just as it is done under the common law. So whatever the assembly of the workers decide unanimously, that is binding. And then you appoint one guy to speak for you, or spokesman or spokeswoman to speak for you to the companies or the corporations or whatever it is that you need to speak to. But fire your union bosses. They're wasting your time and your money. So the UPF is embarking on a campaign where we're going to educate the workers' assemblies or the workers' committees, whatever you're going to call yourselves. We're going to educate you on how to assemble yourselves, how to make decisions, basic rules of how you conduct yourselves so that it's fair and that it's impartial and that it doesn't only benefit a few people, but it serves the greater good and it serves everybody. The students need to do the same. It's the universities are cabal institutions. There are secret societies on the inner temples of the universities where all of this corruption is also getting fermented from. And they are also keeping the New World Order cabal in place and their narratives. So it's important to realize that your student bodies, the same thing is happening. There's a few people at the top of this food chain that are selling you down the river. So you need to also create an assembly for all students, and that all students have the right to participate, and whatever agreements you make are unanimous. You leave nobody out. And then you make sure that whatever decisions you make, you enforce upon the university or whichever institution. In every single instance, you are the creditor. They work for you, you don't work for them, you don't ask them for permission, you command and you wish and you order. Protesting and petitioning and breaching the peace doesn't work. The pen is mightier than the sword. So you need to assemble yourselves, establish your common law, customary law court, summons whoever is infringing upon your rights from the university or the work or wherever, summons them to appear and hold them accountable, and make sure that you do it peacefully and that you apply principles of restorative justice, which means identify who the victim is, make sure the harm and loss stops, make sure that restoration is made, and whoever committed the offense is sorry. That's all you want. You want the harm and loss to stop. So don't apply the colonial rules of punishment. African justice philosophy is restorative justice principle. Lastly, take part in the SA People's National Referendum, which you'll find at yesmovement.org.za. And that gives us the authority to foreclose this bankrupt RSA Incorporated and to lay the foundations for an alternative society. There is a lot of action afoot. It's not quite in the public yet, but you will see over the next coming months, you will see more and more of the actions of the UPF, the SA General Assembly, the National Peace Commission, People's Freedom Council, and the kingdoms. There's a lot of action, and there will be a national court, and we're going to put all of these criminals on trial, and they're going to restore what was stolen from us, and justice will be done, though the heavens may fall. God bless Africa.
Thank you, Governor General. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Michelle. Greetings, everyone. Welcome to the United People's Front Labour Assembly. Let's all understand each other. The jurisdiction of the UPF Labour Assembly, it is having the power as to represent its own members or its own sympathizers, because under the jurisdiction of common law, we do not register anything, we record. So we are going to record the declaration of the people's declaration or the workers' declaration in South Africa as a whole, making our clear statement of the jurisdiction of common law, and that the matters related to the dispute on behalf of the workers who have submitted their emancipation papers to the employer must be taken into consideration as stipulated in the Constitution. We are going to then draft the entire referendum, or what I can call a supplementary document that goes under the referendum. And we are going to make it public in the next 3 days, as soon as all the workers have came forth in majority. If we are then able to make that declaration known to all and allow all other workers the opportunity of 3 months to finalize the signing and the completion of the registration, or not the registration, I mean to say, the declaration or the recording of all the members in the database of the UPF, the labor desk of the UPF, and then all other workers in the boundaries of the Republic of South Africa have the right to approach the common law court as their jurisdiction, where they are going to seek any legal, further lawful advice, and then to seek final remedy. Now, what Brother Thomas has just explained on the video, which it will also be made available, I think at this moment we are going to make it more known to everyone that we are coming in full force, and we are coming peacefully, and we are making our lawful rights known to everyone. And in the next a month or so, 30 to 40 days, the committee that will come out of this, the task team that is going to come out of this meeting, because at the end of this meeting, we're going to volunteer to serve in the committee, and the committee must have its first meeting in the next 24 hours and give all the workers a clear direction. And we are going to, under the assistance of Kat from the Yes Movement, who is well advanced and well equipped to assist in terms of serving notices to all the companies and to everyone at any God-given time. She's not on space, but she indicated that she is going to join us very late. She's the first Secretary General of the Yes Movement and tasked with the labor desk, and to ensure that we give the best assistance that we can. And myself being there and as a common law adjudicator, and not practicing any maritime law system, but more into common law and natural law. We are making a clear declaration that we are going to fight these matters, and we are going to make sure that in the next 6 months from now, we are approaching their jurisdiction called the Constitutional Court. Should we have any dispute arising from companies allowing us as common law to have jurisdiction, and we are going there on a constitutional argument of the Bill of Rights, and they need to then make an order in their court, but they're not going to just make an order. We are going to bring an order that is being heard by the wise elders in the common law jurisdiction and make the final decision. And we are going to walk as the workers. We will all go as the workers to the Constitutional Court. It's called petitioning the Constitution. You are petitioning their Constitution to actually sign and stamp the Constitution and the order of the elders, to give the jurisdiction or make it clear that the jurisdiction of common law, it has the jurisdiction in the boundaries of the Republic as they are constituted. Their own constitution has never denounced or said anything renouncing the existence of common law. It actually even recognized it in the Bill of Rights to choose the court of your choice. So we want that to escalate into people who are having baseless, who can't defend themselves in the marital law system, but who can easily defend themselves in the system that they actually understand, where men and women are the final arbiters of the law, the final adjudicators of the law, that LAW, the original law, not the law that was drafted by the Romans elsewhere and being imposed to us. Basically, what we are simply saying as the UPF, we are bringing the jurisdiction of the land back, and we are chasing away the jurisdiction of the sea. We are simply declining and refusing their jurisdiction anywhere it exists, including being in the police or their courts or anywhere. We are standing to actually fight that the jurisdiction is not here. The jurisdiction is in the common law court. I have fought that battle in the courts before. I won, and I am well equipped to stand as an adjudicator before the jurisdiction of the water and the banks and tell them that you are unconstitutionally trialing a man in your jurisdiction of the water, in which you are standing on the land, and you do not have jurisdiction in the land. And they know, and we have done our research and compiled our arguments, and we will argue that as a standard argument. If they have an alternative argument to bring, let them bring it on. But let's see if the law of the land will then fail compared to the law of the sea. Because immediately when they refuse, they're giving us the attention that we need. Because we need the attention that they do. Their media is refusing us. Their people are refusing us. And we as the people, we are stepping our authority in the authority of the land and say, enough, it is enough. We can't stand on the water and want to be in the land. When we get in our homes, we practice the water, the land. When we get in at work and on the streets and in our lives, we are forcefully forced to practice the maritime law. A black person pays lobola and do all the necessary traditional required. But when it comes to the law, you are sidelined to choose the jurisdiction of your choice. Why? Why is the law based on lies? And one would ask if there is any remedy in the South African courts. And I will answer that very simple. There is absolutely no remedy in the South African courts. The South African courts are not the courts. they are a jurisdiction of contracts. It's contractual courts. They're not actually supposed to be dealing with issues of the land. They are not equipped to deal with those things because why? They are coming from the water. You can't allow the water to take a decision. That is why we still say expropriation of land without compensation is actually wrong for the land to be sidelined and to not have a final say. But the water wants to have final say. We are rejecting the water and we are rejecting it with everything that it comes with. And if it means that we have to go back technological wise to 19 something, we are prepared to rebuild South Africa slowly and not abuse our own country and embark on a program of action that we are going to nationalize all the factories, make sure that the workers are the first beneficiaries of every working force that is required in the country. Meaning that no more dividends for those who are calling themselves bosses, because 50% of the money that the people are making in the company as profit after cost must be contributed direct to the people's jurisdiction, and it shall be shared equal. 30% should remain in the company for the development of the workers, while 20% goes into the state that is actually run by the wise elders and the people. And that state, it will then distribute money according to the requirements that the people have put. Being the mines operating, the people must be the first beneficiaries of the mine. Then it means that all South African citizens, after check and balance of the books, South Africans will be earning dividends from the profit of their own country in companies. Those who are working the land will benefit double because they work in the land. And they are going to get their money back in their pocket as dividends, so that we end industrial actions and we end exploitation of the workers and we end corruption in any companies. And we own the production of our company. If you say the company is not making profit, the first people to say that are the workers, because they are the frontline workers of every company, and they need to be given the right as the frontline workers to run with the programs and to know if the company is collapsing or not. We can't listen to the accountant of a company who's paid by the bosses alone. The state must have an auditor general who actually audits all files of every company that operates in the Republic, who gives the final say, not an independent audit company. And the audit that it needs to be done, it should also be linked with the people's banks. And those people's banks, they are going to run concurrently with the ID system that we are going to create. And we are forcing now as the UPF that we stand in the jurisdiction of the land, and we're not going to listen to the water, and we are not going to fight them as they want us to fight, throwing stones or doing anything, because those things are not hard. We can do them. But we chose peace because we are the people of peace. And we are going to stand in the jurisdiction of the land, and we are going to make sure that we share in the country's wealth. The knocking that has been happening, the lies and the manipulation and the deceiving needs to end. When you are born in this country, you need to be born with a bank account in your name, a stamp number in your name as your birth right. Should not be something that you beg for, unless if you do not want to stay in the Free State and we've allocated you the stand because your jurisdiction is the Free State where you are basically based, and you then decide to sell your property. You can't sell a property for money anymore. Property for property, we exchange the properties. We do not sell the properties, because once you start putting a value on the land, You are causing a havoc. You are putting an asset for an asset, and you make it a point. A South African citizen who dies having assets, the estate must be made clear to the family, and the family must run that estate. We're going to have South Africa that belongs to the people, an unoccupied space that is occupied, agricultural system that functions. The people will then know we can't be busy feeding the whole world. We must first feed the South Africans. When we say there's shortage of food, we must say there's shortage of food because the food that we are producing can't feed all South Africans. If food are going to be made like those companies in Durban that are busy making tin stuffs and all that, we are going to stop those factories because they are not doing anything. Our first priority is men and women, and we want fresh produce everywhere we exist in this country. The trade of food, the working environment, educational system, all that needs to be clear. That is why Brother Thomas spoke about the referendum that seeks to take your power of the attorney away from the state. And these people can't use you as a surety to borrow money anywhere in the world. You are personally holding them liable for any existence or any money that is borrowed and unpaid. Because South Africa is in the virtue of collapsing. South Africa, it is broke. And what do they want? They want money that are sitting in the pension funds and that are sitting on the labor. And I can tell you today, those monies are not there. They have been pawned into assets. And the same assets that they are trading with criminals who are busy stealing your assets, sitting in the provident funds, sitting in the all those things. Now the jurisdiction of the land will then allow the workers to meet and agree to form a proper, well-coordinated structure and agree on how it is going to be run, and move all their monies in the jurisdiction of the water and move it in the jurisdiction of the land. That will happen if only we can strengthen the organization or the assembly of the workers and make sure that the voice of the workers is heard. We are not causing division. We are not saying the police do not belong to the system. No, we're saying everyone in the Republic of South Africa who is earning a salary or who's providing a labor force anywhere, earning a stipend or serving a 2-day job, must have a security. And that security, starting from now, is making sure that the issues that we are bringing forward, we know now we are still in the system, but we are going there with the full manifesto of the workers, that we, the workers, are going to make our jurisdiction known and our jurisdiction heard. I'm going to take hands because I see there's a hand here. I'm going to take hands, and then we're going to go to the second version of Brother Thomas's video. Thank you. Over to you, my brother Fikile.
Unmute myself. Good evening, Leader General, and everyone that is in the house of this platform. I'm glad to be part of these discussions. My take in this regards of this meeting will be, one, I think we need to look at this broader or wide open in terms of our eyes. The unions have got nothing wrong that they have did for the workers, if I'm not going to be out of line. According to the meeting that was invited in terms of the what we call the content of the meeting. My take in this, Mr. General, will be let us always take away the belief that somebody must tell us what we must do, because we are the people on the floor, on the ground, that are experiencing so much problems. Like I'll just make a typical example. about what happened in Rustenburg over this weekend or over the Workers' Day. I don't understand why our government doesn't take care of the people of this country. And I need an explanation or an advice to the superiors of B that they can tell us where are we going in this country, because at the end of the day, our people are the ones who are suffering the most. My point why I raise my hand is this. Can we be able to make sure that we take away the what have been deprived from us as government? Because government actually, they are looking at themselves or with their cronies that they are actually working with in that structure that they are working with. Mr. General, the democratic centralism doesn't work for the South Africans. Common law and natural law will work better for us because we are not owing anybody in this country. This is our country where we need to make sure that we claim what is belonging to us. Thank you very much, Mr. General.
Thank you, Mr. Fikile. Any question? Michelle, can you play the second version of Brother Thomas's video so that we can play all the versions, and then let's allow everyone the opportunity then to engage so that we can see how best can we fix this. Everyone must comment, good people. This meeting is recorded. The minutes are going to be compiled. It is broadcasted as we speak live on YouTube. So let's take those into consideration, that when we have a meeting that is broadcasted on YouTube, it means that we should not be afraid, because we the people are now speaking out. Let it not be about General Techie, so let it be about the workers. Remember, I don't have the pay slip. I'm not working anywhere. I'm a social activist. So allow me the opportunity, and thanks for giving me the ears. Thanks for the 2 people who came here and the millions of South Africans who could not come here. Thank you, Michelle. You can play the video.
Thank you, Governor General. We're going to start from the beginning, so it'll be about 8 minutes and 30 seconds.
Is government based on the will of the people? No. We live in a nation where doctors destroy health, where lawyers destroy justice, universities destroy knowledge, governments destroy freedom, the press destroys information, religion destroys morals, and our banks destroy the economy. History is repeating itself. In the 1950s, the people rejected an apartheid regime, and they embarked on the Defiance campaign, on boycotts, on stayaways. In 1955, they declared the Freedom Charter, and the Freedom Charter declared the people shall govern, and no government can claim authority unless it is based on the will of the people. In 1994, the Reconstruction and Development Program was a rollout of the Freedom Charter and the people's vision of an alternative society, and both declared the people shall govern. But in 1995, we were sold down the river in favor of the Washington Consensus. It's time that we restore South Africa back to 1994, and it all starts with the People's Courts and developing the common law and the customary law. Our governments are not going to protect us. We need to learn how to protect ourselves. Now, the first thing to understand is that the people are sovereign. You are sovereign. You are the authority for which the government exists and acts. You have inherent, inalienable, unalienable rights, natural rights, which cannot be taken away by any agency of the state, not by a majority vote. It cannot be taken away by any company, even if you are a worker or an employee, and it can only be given up if you give it up yourself. Now, some of your natural, inalienable, what they call non-derogable rights are enshrined within the Bill of Rights. So it's important that you download a copy of the Bill of Rights, read the Bill of Rights, because you can use that Bill of Rights in your defense. It doesn't matter if it's with a company or if it's with the police who are trying to arrest you or anyone else for that matter. So it's important to carry a copy of the Bill of Rights with you, to learn it and to stand upon those rights. There's a principle in law that says the law does not protect those that slumber on their rights. So you need to learn what your rights are and what the purpose of government is and how to restrict government to the services that they provide. Now, we're sitting with the same system, the same New World Order system that was controlling the apartheid government through the banks, through the Reserve Bank, through the courts, these crown courts, through these colonial sea rules of theirs, and through the representative structure of government. The people never called for representative government. We called for direct representation, for direct self-governance. So we need to start governing ourselves. And the first thing is that the unions, they've also been bought over by the cabal. So in this representative government, all that the New World Order has to do is to fund one or two people at the top of this representative government to sell the rest of you down the river. So your union bosses are in fact keeping the narrative of the New World Order in place, especially for the workers. They want to keep you enslaved, they want to keep your wages minimum, and they want to keep infringing upon your rights. So the best way is you need to assemble yourselves and do everything by consensus, just as it was done under customary law and just as it is done under the common law. So whatever the assembly of the workers decide unanimously, that is binding. And then you appoint one guy to speak for you, or spokesman or spokeswoman to speak for you to the companies or the corporations or whatever it is that you need to speak to. But fire your union bosses. They're wasting your time and your money. So the UPF is embarking on a campaign where we're going to educate the workers' assemblies or the workers' committees, whatever you're going to call yourselves. We're going to educate you on how to assemble yourselves, how to make decisions, basic rules of how you conduct yourselves so that it's fair and that it's impartial and that it doesn't only benefit a few people, but it serves the greater good and it serves everybody. The students need to do the same. It's the universities are cabal institutions. There are secret societies in the inner temples of the universities where all of this corruption is also getting fermented from. And they are also keeping the New World Order cabal in place and their narratives. So it's important to realize that your student bodies, the same thing is happening. There's a few people at the top of this food chain that are selling you down the river. So you need to also create an assembly for all students, and that all students have the right to participate, and whatever agreements you make are unanimous. You leave nobody out. And then you make sure that whatever decisions you make, you enforce upon the university or whichever institution. In every single instance, you are the creditor. They work for you, you don't work for them, you don't ask them for permission, You command and you wish and you order. Protesting and petitioning and breaching the peace doesn't work. The pen is mightier than the sword. So you need to assemble yourselves, establish your common law, customary law court, summons whoever is infringing upon your rights from the university or the work or wherever, summons them to appear and hold them accountable, and make sure that you do it peacefully and that you apply principles of restorative justice, which means identify who the victim is, make sure the harm and loss stops, make sure that restoration is made, and whoever committed the offense is sorry. That's all you want. You want the harm and loss to stop. But don't apply the colonial rules of punishment. African justice philosophy is restorative justice principle. Then lastly, take part in the SA People's National Referendum, which you'll find at yesmovement.org.za. And that gives us the authority to foreclose this bankrupt RSA Incorporated and to lay the foundations for an alternative society. There is a lot of action afoot. It's not quite in the public yet, but you will see over the next coming months, you will see more and more of the actions of the UPF, the SA General Assembly, the National Peace Commission, People's Freedom Council, and the kingdoms. There's a lot of action, and there will be a national court, and we're going to put all of these criminals on trial, and they're going to restore what was stolen from us, and justice will be done, though the heavens may fall. God bless Africa.
Thank you.
Thank you, Governor General.
Thank you, Michelle and everyone. Can I say the question is, what do you think we need to do? You need to speak for yourself as the workers. What do you think we need to do? After we're done with that subject, we need the people to come forward and volunteer to work with the team that is already being established. I've posted on the messages, the WhatsApp group that we have of the workers. The labor desk is called the Yes Movement Labor Desk, but very soon is going to be changed tonight into the UPF, because we integrated the labor desk into the UPF and not as the Yes Movement. Now, if we may do so by show of hands, those who wants to comment, ask a question, clarity, who are having a view, let's all talk. Let's all feel free. We are at home. We are all friends of this initiative we are doing. Over to you, people. Any question? Anyone? Emmanuel, do you want to comment? Futi? Ingrid? Good people, are we here? Are we here? Am I alone here, or we are all here?
We hear, this is Futi, but no comment from me.
Okay, anyone? Okay, Madota, the floor is yours, my king.
Greetings, thank you very much, General. Hopefully there's no noise. I'm sitting with my family. My first comment, I think what needs to be done with these corporations that are employing the people, first of all, they're treating them as persons. They need to be informed that they are dealing with the people of the land, since they know that persons do not have rights because they are actually fictions. Now they need to be informed. We need to write a formal letter or something that will inform them that we are actually the living people of the land, that we are not subjected to some of their laws. of the sea, that we are actually on the land. And then hence, since these companies and corporations, they're using private securities, they impose some of their laws on us, and then they subject us to things, for instance, that fictions do not have rights, for instance. Now, they need to be informed. Basically, that is what I'm going to say now. They need to be informed that they are dealing with actual people that are actually living on the land. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Elias, the floor is yours, my king.
Dumela, my brother.
Thank you, my king.
Okay. For those who don't know me, my name is Raleigh. I've been doing research about common law since almost a year now. Okay. We have the Labour Assembly. Okay, I just want to clear up with General quickly. How many groups or people have we actually approached informing the workers of what actually their unalienable rights are? Because I think it's going to be crucial. I do agree with what Thomas is saying, or Brother Thomas has said, about the unions being a big problem and the total dictatorship on every worker. I had a few run-ins with unions, and it is clear that the people who are members of these unions have no authority because the rules don't allow them any forms of authority in order to make the decision that is best in the interest of we the people. Because ultimately, when he's finishing work, he's going back to his family, and therefore he's part of the community, and he's also then part of the rights of people that's living in his area. So I want to know exactly how. Look, we all know that the assemblies need to be established. So I also want to bring something up that I'm busy doing research on the Australians. The Australians are setting up the assemblies in every town. Okay? So I want us to see if we can get to the point where if we're going to have impact on the business community, we need to put an idea forward in getting the assemblies up and running in the towns itself where we think there's the biggest problem. And through that way, we start getting everybody, educated. Because the big problem at the moment is to educate the people to make them understand exactly what is meant by unalienable rights, what is meant by common law, what is meant by customary law. Because I'm trying to think of a way to efficiently and effective getting. Now, according to the Australians, in order to set up the assembly, they only have 12 people needed. So if you have people in areas that you think is going to able to assist us to get the assemblies up and running, it will be a good idea to get it out to the people and say to him, assemble, and here's the rules that we have, or this is the proposed rules that we have, and we make sure that it gets implemented. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Before I take another questions, but to prepare yourself, warm yourself up with the hands. Let me answer Elias. Elias, we really hard at work, and I've been missing to give you a call because I needed to give you a immediate task from myself in the UPF as the governor. I wanted to give you a task to handle for me. I think we will keep in touch a lot on that. Okay, we have started today with the thingy, establishing the workers' assembly. Tomorrow we are hosting the business assembly, where we are inviting everyone who is in business or wanting to be in business to know who are going to be in the jurisdiction of the land, to know their rights in their business and what they need to then do moving forward, so that we also need assistance from clean businesses and clean people who are willing to stand in the jurisdiction of the land and assist the people of the land to achieve the vision of the land. So we are moving after these assemblies. We are moving to the student assemblies. We've convened universities such as the University of Limpopo, TUT, we've involved UNISA, we've involved UJ, we've involved Durban University of Technology. I am going to be tasking Elizabeth with the task to also move forward to bring the Free State and all other universities, and we're going to have one common law assembly, and we are going to do what our brother has proposed, that we set up, we inform these people of our rights and our standing in the land jurisdiction, Matota. We are going to do that, and we would like volunteers to come from all angles, come forward and assist, because we're not going to achieve this vision if we want to just be meeting attenders. We need to be active and actively involved. If there's a shot that we have is now, we have the shot now, and let's use it to our advantage. Thank you, Fikile. You can have the mic, my brother. Any question again, please raise your hand so that after Fikile you can shoot.
Thank you, Mr. General. My comment will be, we've got an obligation as the citizens who have got a privilege to see what has been done to us for the last 27 years. It is high time right now that we educate the people on the ground. Unfortunately, I don't have the strategy. How are we going to do it now? However, I've got a feeling that it is a right moment for us to make sure that we educate our people so that they can know their rights and what has been deprived from them. So I'm very optimistic that in this platform, as we are talking here or gathering here in this platform visually, so that we gonna achieve the goal, because we have got a privilege that we are seeing that our people are not yet governing, as the Freedom Charter has been said, that people shall govern. So that is a comment that I wanted to make, Mr. General. Thank you very much.
Pleasure, my king. Elias, you can come again, my brother.
I just want to add on to what Fikile is saying, because it is a bit of a strategy situation of trying to inform people. It needs to start with friends and family. Although some of my friends and family have actually ignored me, but let's start there, because I think that will be a starting point for each and every one on the platforms, and also for those who are actually involved in the Juro assemblies. So, and then try and see if you can get feedback, whether they are, because you must understand something here now. People are not understanding anything, and we are coming with a total new concept, which actually is old already, but which has been deliberately sabotaged. And so there's a degree of mistrust. And if I pick up with the COVID situation, my own family don't trust me with the research information that I've done on the COVID, for example. So maybe we need to look at how do we tell our friends and family for them to be able to be interested, and then also then start to ask questions. Because if we cannot convince our friends and family, then we're going to sit with a big obstacle. So maybe there's somebody with an idea, because I'm struggling with my own family and friends for them to believe that, listen, this is what happened to us, this is the situation. Because unfortunately, as you know, there's been a lot of disinformation, and the one phrase I like to use is conspiracy theory. So what I've done on all my Facebook pages and to my friends in that, I've given them information about the cabal. Okay, but for some reason, it is not registering with these guys. So maybe there's somebody out there that can give us a better strategy in how to inform our friends and family so that it actually becomes believable. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Well, we are going to meet in the next a week or so, on the 14th to be exact. It's going to be on a Saturday at Greenside in Johannesburg, where we are calling all the people being in the sectors of the military, being on the sectors of education, being on the sectors of the workers and all that, those sectors, business and education as well. We're calling the national Indaba, Mr. Fikile, where we are going to then sit down in the town hall meeting and take a clear decision on what we are going to do. I've been in communication with the Cabal Media, the SABC, and the ETV. And lucky because I've been having a case with them that I filed under the common law that they're not giving us coverage in their news reporting. They are biased and they are not for the people. They are for the cabal. Now, they are saying they are going to cover the event as we are going to be meeting, and as a first meeting, the first declaration of all the sectors making their declaration under common law. So I'm hoping that people, as much as we have 39 people sitting here in this meeting, we're going to have this number tripled or fourfold. And we were pleading and requesting because we've arranged a meal such as a buffet for coffee, unlimited coffee, vendor machine. So we'll discuss the logistics as we move forward for the people to come together as in that conference where we're going to then come out with a clear working document, and we're going to then have a clear direction of perusing the UPF documents step by step and making addition and agreeing when are we officially making the documents public for everyone to scrutinize, and the time frame and all that. And we'll come out of that having a steering committee that should, in all the committees, that should be running the desk as in accordance with what would be the plan. So I have the hands. I don't know if the hands of Obabu Zweli. Let me call you like this. Let me be fair. I will call Ofikile and call Uzweli and call Umatota and then call Janine, and then I will take the last round 8 o'clock. I hope we should be done. But if not, by 8:10, let's close the meeting so that we can embark on that development. Over to you, Fikile.
Mr. General, in overall of what is being discussed here, or what we are discussing, I do have a feeling that we are heading in the right direction. What is most important to me is that we need to apply a strategy with a program of action. I like the fact that you just raised something that will be meeting in the green side. And we need to make sure that at the end of the day, we might be 40 people as we are in this platform. However, we've got an obligation, or we've got a calling to make sure that we are educating our people in the land, as they are not actually part of these discussions, but we've got an obligation to make sure that we are educating them in an extent that leadership, they know what has been deprived out of them. I always stick in my mind the wording that says, people shall govern. How so? Because at this point in time, it seems like we've got dictators that are running this country, that they are looking after themselves or their families. And they are only making the people on the ground as voting cows. So we need to make sure that we are going away of this system, because it didn't work for the people of this land. I think we tend to have profitable, what you call leaders, instead of having leaders that they are looking after their people. So I'm really urging leaders, all of you that are actually in this platform, to make sure that whenever we are going away to sleep tonight, to make sure that we have got a big task or project to make sure that our people are governing this country with nobody that will actually dictate them or give them what they must do. Thank you very much, Mr. General.
Thank you, thank you. Before I let you in, Zweli, Michelle, please post the link to our UPF what you call a WhatsApp page. What all the pages like your Telegram and WhatsApp that you have, so that our good people can
Dis
have
goeie nuus,
access to the
Dirk, wat jy nou
UPF.
meedeel vir jou ontmoeting met die konings van jou area.
Okay, Zweli, the floor is yours, my brother. If you want to speak, good people, raise your hand. We're not going to deny you the mic. Zweli, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Governor. Evening, ladies and gentlemen. Me, myself, and I've been terrorized by our country so much. And I know places and some of the employees I've engaged with told them of such thing, of such movement that you are having. We are heading to slavery, guys. Actually, we are already there because our parties are also encouraging foreigners to come into our land and so on. There is this guy by the name of Advocate Mafrika Wamaile. He also started that movement of not following the lockdown rules and so on and so on. I think it will be best for us to engage with such people to make them to come together and make a big family so that we can fight with all the resources that we can. I'm staying at Klerksdorp around Kuma location in Stelfontein. And here we have been having such issues. Now I have people who are on the move as we speak. They are talking to the community, alerting everyone, and it's been going for a while. We have a list of members who are ready to join such movement. So we are ready. We just need the right direction. As we really don't know our rights correctly. That's the problem. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Zweli. And it is so nice that you live in the Northwest, and I am also living in the Northwest province in Ventersdorp specific, where I am farming. I hope in the next 2 weeks we should have met and engage about the UPF program of action. And we should be visiting Klerksdorp as the UPF very soon, because I've assembled the team of the UPF leaders to go and host the town hall meetings in all the cities in South Africa to make sure that we educate our people about their rights under common law. Keida Madota, then follow Janine and Keida Tabo sequentially.
Okay, thank you very much. The first thing I think I would say with regards to the educational material, we need to develop educational material, and then it will be up to each and every individual here to inform, for instance, using their own platforms like Twitter, whatever platform that they're using on social media, to inform others of common law. And with regards to this workplace in unions and such, and then so that the word can be spread. And then also, but I think that we should develop a task team that can be able to go to individual corporations, not sure if it's possible, go to each and every corporation and then speak with the workers in their workspaces and then inform them and educating them, perhaps maybe after work, ask for 30 minutes and then be able to deliver the education. And then it will be up to them if they would like to follow or whatever. I think that will be my comment for now. It will be developing the educational material so that can be used by each and every individual here, and then we can be able to spread the word. Thank you.
Janine, the floor is yours, my sister. The floor is yours, Janine. Okay, I think go on.
Hi, good afternoon.
Greetings, Janine. The floor is yours.
Greetings. My name's Janine Richardson. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, we can hear you clearly.
Thank you. I'm from Bermuda Islands, and I was introduced to your movement via Ricardo Marmon's fight, and everything that he was doing, sharing it on social media and online with his videos, and that's how I got involved with South Africa. I'm involved in Bermuda Freedom Alliance. We formed as activists to stand up for our rights against government overreach here in Bermuda. And what happened is, while we're looking at everything happening all over the world, we bumped into World Freedom Alliance that was calling for countries from all around the world to join with them. And they were assisting in giving out like notices of liability, letters of cease and desist. It was pretty much legal assistance, right? Which we didn't readily have in Bermuda without having to pay a lot of money. And then also knowing that we couldn't deal with the Crown and the Bar Association, that the lawyers weren't speaking up because they were threatening their own jobs, and you know, they could only go so far in Admiralty law. So since then, we've been learning about common law and natural law, God's law, and we've been trying to teach our people here. And I'm still connected with your Telegram groups and paying attention to what you're saying, because you guys get right to the point. You know, the action that you're doing it's more advanced than what I see people doing here in Bermuda. We only have a population of 60,000, so we're very small island, and very conservative people, and a lot of complacent people that are just following government. So people aren't speaking up. A lot of people are not speaking up. But we have about 30% of our population, they say, that have refused to get the vaccine, and that, you know, we've been rallying and fighting for our rights, sending letters to our governments and whatnot. So honestly speaking, I connected with you because of your legal clarity, your lawful clarity with common law and whatnot. So I'll try to be fast. So what I've really noticed a lot is that, like somebody already said here, is that people are mistrusting. People are mistrusting, and a lot of people are still calling conspiracy theory. They're not seeing the truth. And we have been trying to reach people, like with rallies. We've had car rallies driving through the island. We've had rallies at the cabinet grounds of government's cabinet grounds. We've given letters to our premier and to the chief medical officer and the governor. And, you know, we've done a lot. We've tried to reach people. We've talked to people. We've been on social media. We have a group that has been producing talk shows, been calling in professional scientists and doctors and legal professionals from overseas, and having interviews with them, and then sharing it on social media and on YouTube. We have had high censorship. So the point of reaching the people is really hard. This is what I'm trying to share with you now. We're still working on that. And what I thought is that we need to do what the parliamentarians do for election, is to go to people on the street, to talk to people at their homes, to go knocking on doors. Because when you talk with people one-on-one, They're looking in your eyes, they can feel you more, and they relate better. Because a lot of people agree with us, but they're just looking at us from the outside. We're not reaching them if we're not talking to them person to person. So I think it's a good thing for us to consider doing to reach people more. And another thing that we were looking at doing is going to the police and telling them that people are suffering injury because nobody else was helping, right? When you suffer injury, you need assistance, you need protection, and our government's not protecting us. So we realized, well, this is true what UK are doing. Well, you go to the police and tell them you need help because you're suffering damage and you're suffering injury. So go to the police and tell them, you know, that somebody's got hurt by the vaccine, somebody's job's being taken from them unlawfully, and you know, to approach the police like that. But we actually didn't go forward and encourage our people to do it because we're watching them doing it in the UK, and they had one metropolitan
Thanks.
police.
Thanks, my sister. Very, very interesting. Inbox me. I'm going to invite you on the common law space that I'm
Okay.
holding on Friday on Twitter. You will have access to a number of people. I will give you the mic and we will share ideas and then we'll move forward. Let's just keep in touch. Drop your email to Michelle there. And Michelle
In the
will
chat
definitely.
here.
Yes,
In the
Michelle,
chat.
she's here, she's the co-host.
Okay.
Let's move to Brother Tabo.
And
Brother
can I say
Tabo,
one last thing? Can I say one last thing, please?
I can only give you a second because we have
Okay,
to close the
I'll be
meeting.
quick. I'll be quick. Someone commented about what I put on my name, Yeshua is love. Yeshua is the Hebrew name of Jesus, and we're trying to use more original language and what is correct and not the modern washed down descriptions of everything. This is the point in reaching the people, is to reach out with love.
Okay. No,
Yeah,
it's
and
understandable.
I'll end there. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Ale. Thanks a lot. Leader Tabo, can you request your mic again? Going once, going twice. Good people, we move into the best part of the meeting where we're going to come out with a task team. The task team that is actually going to be assisting us in putting the event of the 14th together and coming up with the working document. You can raise your hand and come up and say your full name and nominate yourself and drop your numbers on the inbox or contact anyone between Michelle or Emmanuel. Then we can compile that list so that we are able to publish it on our coming up Twitter page and social media pages of the Labour Assembly. So, Comrade Mr. Fikile, the mic is yours. Tell us your full name and inform us if you are volunteering or you say your comment in short. Thank you.
All right. Fikile here. That's my name. I don't have a colonial name. The surname is Gyanchi. That is my grandfather's name. Obviously, I will be saying I'm willing to be part of this intervention. I've been an observer in this country for the last 2 decades, so I won't call myself as a volunteer. However, if that is a wedding, I will call it as I want to be part of it. Thank you very much, Mr. General.
Fikile, our first volunteer, Tabo, I see your hand, and then Zweli, you'll follow. But where are the ladies? Tabo, the mic is yours. Tabo? The mic is yours. I can't unmute you, so I'm asking you to unmute. So Zweli, you can shoot. Tabo, you'll keep your mic unmuted. Zweli, shoot. Mr. Zweli,
I'll also like to volunteer because I've been struggling also for a very, very long time.
Thank you.
Now, what I need to know is that do I need to be available all the time because I'm working?
On the 14th, please be available. Northwest, you must bring a combi of workers from that side and activists. I will arrange with you.
All
So
right, no problem.
avail yourself on the 14th in Johannesburg. Tabo, the floor is yours. You can speak.
Oh, good evening. I'm Tabo Mukhari from around Johannesburg. I want to be part of this journey because it has started long time ago. I'll be one of you guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Michelle, can you read the comments? Emmanuel, can you read the comments that were to do with people volunteering or anything? Those who have dropped their contacts so that they can be known to have volunteered also on DMs. Is allowed to drop your numbers on DM. Is allowed. Emmanuel, over to you. Okay. I see. Michelle, can you then do the task of reading the DMs of those who have volunteered? Their names? Yes.
I'm taking it down. Do you want to know it now, or can I just record it separately?
For the recording purpose, make it known to everyone.
All right. I will also note that somebody has suggested we get translators so that all documentation can be put in languages that will be appropriate for the whole community. I am just checking for more volunteers. We do have quite a few people's email addresses that have been placed on here. So thank you for those. We will include you on the emailing database. All right, Musa has kindly volunteered to be part of the group as well. Thank you very much, Musa. Governor General, would you like to just address Musa with what might be needed?
Thanks, Musa. Just inbox Michelle everything. We'll create a WhatsApp group separately, but you can still join the existing WhatsApp group that is on the messages there for the working group. So what we only need is those who have volunteered. Let's form a communication channel. It can be a Telegram or Signal. Just let's create a communication channel so that we don't lose track of what we want to achieve. So Musa, you are welcome. Like everyone, you are welcome.
All right, thank you, Governor General. And Madoda has also kindly agreed to volunteer. Thank you very much, Madoda, for that. I know your hands are already full with a lot of stuff, so appreciate the extra time you're going to gift.
Thank you.
All right, Leo, thank you. I think.
Okay, we have hands on top. Let me take all these two hands, and then I will declare the meeting officially closed. So Karen, you and Grace, you'll follow.
Good evening, General and everybody. I'd love to volunteer, but I live in a small town in the Cape. But how could can anyone help me and could suggest getting a group together for the whole labor aspect here in the small town, because it's a huge farming area with a lot of labor issues going on here too. So if you could suggest I find a volunteer, or I can volunteer to find volunteers.
Volunteer, my dear, and then finding volunteers is the task of everyone. So what we do is when you'll be coordinating that town and making sure that you protect the rights of everyone in that town, being labor, being anything, because we are preparing a special training where Brother Thomas is going to train everyone on, and we have ongoing common law groups as well, where we can get a little knowledge that we can use, because common law is very simple, is what we practice mostly in our houses. So thanks, you are welcome to the committee inbox, Michelle. Then you'll get Michelle will then create the communication channel, being Signal or being Telegram, where we can all talk.
Okay,
Grace,
sorry.
Okay.
So just that Michelle and I live in the same town, so I'll speak with her about. We already have quite a group of people here, Michelle, that could
Okay.
maybe join this. Is that an idea, Michelle?
100% with you on that.
Brilliant.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
We've got a
Thank
group
you.
here already. We'll put them on.
Thank you. Grace, the floor is yours. Limpopo. Thank you,
Limpopo
Grace.
is here. Limpopo is here. Yes, my name is Grace Ngwechana. I am from Limpopo, from Polokwane, and I am willing to volunteer on this desk, more especially on the translation, to get the documents translated in Pedi. I also have a busy schedule, but I can take it to another level as time goes on to see if I can assist with the workers this side. There are always issues with workers everywhere. So
No, thank
always find people that need help. Thank you very much.
Grace, I'm going to decline your request to join the labor desk. Instead, there's an assembly where the team of researchers and translators of documents are going to have their own assembly as the true recorders. We need the record office and we need to have the record officers. So I'm sorry, Grace, because we have been in discussions in assisting on interpretation of documents and working with BT and all that. So we can't allow you to be multitask in that way to that extent. I'm sorry. Thank you, but you can help us by putting the people together in Limpopo. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good people, I am one of the most honest person, and one of the things that we need under common law is being honest to ourselves and being honest when we dealing with men and women, and give a man what he feels comfortable in doing than putting pressure on a person. Now, this is what we all need to do right now. We all need to go back to our small corners and start mobilizing the people and start briefing the people about what we are initiating right now. By saying that, I am saying let's all make it a norm and a standard that we keep communication alive and we build our structures in a way that we're not going to experience disputes, but we're going to experience unity. So by saying that, I am officially declaring this meeting closed and say to everyone in this meeting, thank you, and thank you for being with us, and we love you so much. As from the desk of the governor of the UPF, I am saying I love you all. Thank you, everyone.
We love you too. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Right.
Okay.
Cheers,
guys.
Bye.
Cheers, Leader General and Brother Thomas.
Thanks, leader. Thanks, leader.
Thank you so much. Peace, love, and light.
Thank you.
Aduta continua.
Continue. The people shall
Blessed
come.
night, guys.
Thank you.
Blessed night, everyone.
Thank
Sure.
you. Yeah.